Good morning, it's Jakai Fletcher here with Reaching Our Brothers Everywhere, here to talk about holidays and fatherhood.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Caleb Bogle, Reaching Our Brothers Everywhere. Good to have you again for another round of the podcast. We have our brothers here, some new fathers for you, Mr. Caesar and Mr. Kenya, some of our community transformers. They're going to talk to you about their experience during the holidays. New fatherhood, new beginnings. We got baby boy. You'll see him on camera in a second with us. So for all the fathers out here, reaching our sisters everywhere, reaching our brothers everywhere. We're located here in Atlanta, Georgia. We're here to help you with your needs once you leave the hospital with your babies. But we're also here to connect you to community resources. So check out the website. Email us if you have any questions. Welcome to fatherhood, new fathers, new mothers. Enjoy your first holiday season with your babies.
Check link in the bio.
First question, how do you honor the holidays in a way that feels true to your family's story?
So I honor the holidays, like I said before. I've been in this mindset of like whatever emotion that don't run from it, like feel it, embrace it, basically. So like if the holiday season's around, like I'm not gonna be too nonchalant or ignore it. I'm gonna allow that the cheerful spirit, like the generosity. I'm not gonna give any pushback on it. I'm gonna embrace it. It's hard to ignore, like especially like Christmas stuff. You gonna see like the lights and like especially the cold season. The energy that the holiday brings, being just like especially just being back around family, things of that nature, like not being incognito. So like just embracing the spirit, the energy that comes with it, and just being supportive. Like I said, just being around my people, allowing my cup to be poured back into, and just embracing it.
Yeah, so my wife is indigenous, so we're very aware of Thanksgiving and the meaning of Thanksgiving to the indigenous people. However, it is like my brother said, like it's a lot about embracing the energy, the good energy that's out there, soaking it in. People are generous. People are thinking about each other a lot more. People are, their cups are fuller with their families. And I think, if anything, that's the most important part of the season is just the energy that's around. Because with so much of that energy around, it's easy to circulate, and people need that.
All right. Question 2. During the holidays, what practices help you slow down and actually be present with your kids instead of just providing for them?
Time for me, the patience, and just more so focusing on their needs, not being so much on the go, moving too fast. Sometimes, like when you're moving too fast, or me personally, like, I know it's okay. What I'm anxious about, let me slow down. So, more so paying attention to my kids' needs. That's my focus. Not being a comparison or competition, and knowing that my kids have what they need already. I do want to show them, like reward them in a way like, yeah, you're a child, you deserve these things. You deserve to continue on to be a child. Like, don't be in a rush to grow up. So most of us had to grow up faster than the others. So more so just making sure that I'm present and attentive and let my kids be kids.
Yeah, I think that it's really important to focus on my son's needs, on my wife's needs. If anything, fatherhood has taught me is just helped me develop that. Sometimes he's hungry, sometimes he needs his diaper changed, sometimes he just needs to burp, sometimes he just wants to be in a different position. So it heightens my perception of the needs of people around me. Is one of the things that fatherhood has definitely given me. And ways that I stay centered and able to do that more is through meditation. I try to slow down and see what thoughts are going through my head, and separate from those thoughts as well, so I can really perceive the thoughts and the feelings that are going through other people, like my family's thoughts or their needs and things like that, and also just centering on gratitude.
Question 4. In the middle of the holiday, most men experience like pressure of money, family expectations, and stress. How do you model emotional balance and safety for your children? So how do you balance, or how do you model emotional balance and safety for your children and your family?
I don't allow the pressure of the world or like material things to make me feel like I'm either valuing like those type of things with my children. So I just don't allow, like, you gotta have a strong mind and don't feel pressure with things like that. And just really just conversation, really just always being open-minded, just just having those conversations with your significant other, and more so just being transparent if someone don't agree with how you think and how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's extremely important to model resilience. Resilience is one thing that I preach to my kids that I do for after school. It's one thing that I preach to my wife. Is failing forward, being prepared to fail. No greatness comes from some people that didn't fail a bazillion times. So, whenever there's something that feels like a shortcoming or feels like a failure, I try to embrace that. I try to, like my brother said, like center on gratitude. I think it was Nipsey Hussle that said he's blessed that you're blessed to have strong enemies. And I kind of look at it that way, but also blessed to have strong obstacles. Because that just kind of goes to show that you're living that level of life, and you're making that type of progress. And when you are, then you're gonna come up against really big obstacles. So part of my martial arts, my capoeira role, is about not only doing great with your beating your opponent, but also with the grace. You have to beat your opponent with grace as well. It's not just about struggling. It's about dancing your way through and feeling good while you're doing it.
What's one thing you're intentionally doing differently as a new or recent father? Something you hope your child one day recognizes.
I make sure that it's kid friendly. So like make sure, like, if I'm getting these experiences with life, I definitely want my children to get these same experiences. So as they grow older, they can remember these things like, oh, I've been here or done this with my dad, and they got different conversations or they got different experiences that they can speak on in school with friends or teachers or with family members, just based on what I expose them to. Definitely like traveling, events like road, just things of that nature. So for me, I would just say the exposure and remodeling my household for the kids, like more so just making it where it's like their space, like I'm in their space, not them in my space, like making it where they just being a kid.
Exposure. I think just exposure to the right things. I have him he listens to a lot of classical music to stimulate certain parts of his brain. We also have him listen to a lot of live music. We play, we have a band, play lots of instruments, so he gets to hear that a lot. He gets to hear us sing a lot. Also, hearing different languages. We sing in Portuguese. Talk to him a lot. Like you said, and just as an adult, really having real conversations. We also watch anime together, so he gets to hear some Japanese. I watch a lot of Spanish TV shows and things like that. So we get a decent amount. He gets a decent amount of exposure. I want him to have a lot of exposure to a lot of languages, so he'll be able to express himself very well. There are words in certain languages that other languages don't have. Ways that people express themselves and dimensions of life, and I hope that he gets to see that I gave him all the dimensions of life that he could possibly experience, and hopefully he'll be better off for it.
Last question. What does it look like to build a family culture rooted in respect, paternal well-being, and community care, especially in a world that hasn't always protected Black parents?
Yeah, I think culture is so important. I played basketball at Emory University, number 4 in the nation when I was there, and culture was everything for us. It really showed me how much culture truly means. To trust, commitment, and care. That was our TCC. Trust, commitment, and care was our culture, and we lived that every minute of the day. Their teammate, if a teammate was around you, it's talking about they're just like, all right, cool. Like, is that gonna help us for the season? Like, is what you're doing gonna help us win? It wasn't just on the court that we were keeping each other accountable. We were keeping each other accountable everywhere in life, just period. And that culture is what I believe led to our success on the basketball court. And I think it's what leads to people's success long term. It's easy to forget what your values are if you're not constantly reminding yourself, and you don't have people around you constantly reminding you of where we're going with this. And with my family especially, I try to make sure we stay centered and focused on what we're actually trying to accomplish in this world, what we want to accomplish for Anu, what we want to accomplish for each other. And I think that's really the culture that I hope to build in our family. There are a lot of contending cultures. Believe it or not, like the U.S. is a cult. I mean, everything's a cult. Everything has its own culture, and it's easy to get swept up and taken by a cult or a culture that just because of the sheer amount of people that are following that culture. So I try my best to make sure that I stay solid on our values and what we think are important for the success and the health of our family, and continuously talk about those type of things and have conversations with the wife to make sure that we're staying centered on what we think is important.
Me, I would say like the guidance, the leadership that I carry. Also, it's on me, like with being a father, of what my children see as a man. Really just my actions, I would say that. Like whatever they see me do, like I'm that first teacher for them. So it's like, if I'm slacking or being lazy and things like that, I don't expect them to be perfect, but they have to have, like you said before, like the resilience, especially emotional resilience, things of that nature. Just me, how I carry myself, I'm gonna set the tone for them, I would say.
I'll just I guess ask one more question, which is like surrounded that word holidays, right? I don't know about like your faith backgrounds, but I heard this question about family, and I think of the word holidays as we say it's holy days. So like, my question is more towards like your family traditions as you all as kids growing up, and like how do you make these days outside of the commercial stuff, or we talk about buying stuff and providing that fathers are supposed to do for their family, like how do you make this time holy for yourself and honor your family and how you grew up, and then how are you going to try to make that holy for your family below you that you're raising now?
I would say coming around. When I say coming around, it's like when, as far as me as a kid, being around family, grandmother, aunts, like the cooking, the decoration and things like that. So I have that memory still. So now, like with my children, I try to have that. I have to give out that same, like that love. Like, of course, them being around me, without more so like the decoration and color. Like, they still gonna eat good and things like that. I just don't more so like advertise it. More so I kind of still make it feel like a normal day in a sense, but it's still like they feel that love and that good genuine love. More so, I try to keep it the same way without like my upbringing with things like that. So just like, of course, them being around me, them being around the people who raised me, so they still feel that love without the
Maybe pageantry that we
Yeah.
grew up with. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I think how I keep my days holy, how I make my days holy during the holiday season. Presence, like actual presence, like with a C, like just being as present as possible with my wife, with my son. Really taking the time to figure out what it is that they care about in life, and just being present with them, even just talking through that, helping them develop through that. Well, sometimes, just sitting down, just having a really good meal without the phone. It's a lot of things that are vying for our attention these days. Social media or work or drama that is not necessarily centered on the family. So I think it's just a good time to how to keep it holy for me is just a good time to separate away from all the noise and center back on being present with the family.
Thanks, fellas.
All right, thank you.
You got another question in mind?
Great job, fellas. Good job. It took some time to warm up. So we had a couple.
Yeah, it always goes like this.